Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is May 26th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. As you can see, we've got a bit of a system here swinging through the Pacific Northwest. This bark is worse than its bite, though. This is really not even kicking off much in the way of shower activity as we speak right now. We're going to take a look at what is to come here because we got some interesting weather in the extended forecast, and including as we go towards the end of this week. A pretty good warm up here coming across much of the state, but then we have some interesting troughs and some lows trying to move down towards the state of California and the west coast of North America. We'll take a look at those in some detail as we go through the video here today. Looking at lightning strike activity, you can see in the east slopes of the Sierra Nevada, just south of Reno there, and then there was a thunderstorm up there across Northern California there in the last 24 hours as well. And we may have additional thunderstorm activity here over the next few days, especially across the Sierra Nevada and some in Northern California. We'll explore those details here in a moment as well. And if you want your own affordable home weather station to detect lightning for you, and this weather station is very fun, does all kinds of stuff, stores all the data for you in the cloud. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. I've got two of these running at my house. Very fun weather station. So here we are, visible satellite imagery as we speak. I'm going to pause this right as we get to the edge and stop it right there. And you can see we've got some of that marine there down in towards Southern California, some of the Bay Area as well. And there are some clouds across higher terrain, maybe a sprinkle or two or a light shower going on right now, but that could kick off some thunderstorms later on, kind of on the isolated side there. Now, taking a wider view of things here, you can see this is a combination of operators. I didn't see any returns, maybe just a brief blip there, but not much in the way of precipitation here across the Sierra Nevada. There's Reno right there. There's Carson City. There's Lake Tahoe. Not picking up much in the way of precipitation as we speak. And if you want to go to the Patreon page here and share some of your images with me, go to the community tab and do so. And if you want to help support the channel, Patreon is always a great way to do that also. So now taking a look here at thunderstorm activity today. It doesn't show much for the Sierra Nevada. I'll show you the models in that here in a moment. But day 2, check it out. They're showing some love here for the Sierra Nevada and a little bit further north there. A little bit of a thunderstorm chance there. And then on day 3, Northern California, and again, some of the Sierra Nevada. So they are paying attention. Props to the Storm Prediction Center there. And looking at Los Angeles National Weather Service, just want to drive on this point here really quick. Beach hazard statement for some wave action along the coastline. There is some wind advisory for the higher terrain. You can see Tehachapi right there and just off to the east. And if we click on that wind advisory here, let's just go ahead and see what it says. This goes on through 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Some gets to 50 miles per hour. Santa Barbara County southwestern coast. And so, yeah. Interesting stuff there. Check it out if you need more detail on that. And also just a reminder here, Phoenix National Weather Service is doing a Skywarn spotter program. You don't have to be in the Phoenix area to do this. Anybody can do it. And there's links down below where you can register. This one's on Friday 6th and Monday, June 9th there. So click on those to register if you like. You can learn all kinds of information there, reporting criteria and good stuff from the National Weather Service. So looking at composite reflectivity, this is a high resolution rapid refresh. We go through this afternoon. You can see some of the storm activity here along the east slopes there. Bishop and Nevada, California border there. Just a few showers. Could have some lightning strikes with that. And then as we go on in through Tuesday, it doesn't show much. I'll show you the North American model here shows in a moment, but it doesn't show many showers popping off on Tuesday afternoon. But if we look at the North American model, we'll scroll through today, and you can see it is a bit wider in coverage with some of this thunderstorm activity here. And then you can see those moving around. We go on in through Tuesday afternoon. You can see those pop off again as well. So it does have thunderstorm activity for Tuesday, so watch out for that if you're across the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada or even in some of the foothill areas. And we go through Wednesday yet again. Some of the shower activity pops off maybe a bit further north across northeast California, maybe the Siskiyous or southern Cascades of Oregon as well, getting a bit of thunderstorm activity with that action also. And looking at the winds here, just kind of a typical wind regime. We got the northwest winds down the coastline. You got the westerly, southwesterlies. They turn southerly across Nevada. And as you get through the afternoon and the evening hours, you can see the winds get a bit more gusty, especially across the higher terrain as well. And they relax as we go through diurnal and nocturnal cycle here. Then they pick back up again tomorrow evening as well, Tuesday. Yeah, so just kind of a typical wind regime going on right now. Not much to speak about. So looking at the European artificial intelligence, there's that weak trough over our area now, but that's going to give way to some ridging across the Pacific Northwest. This closed low gets set up, and so this is kind of what we're going to be watching here. This has a chance to bring some rain to some of the desert areas in some of Southern California. Not a lot of it, but could be some kind of fun, interesting thunderstorm activity with this, which you'll also notice on the north side of that closed low, this ridge nosing in towards California. That is really going to ramp up the temperatures, it looks like, as we go towards the end of the week and on in towards the weekend. Widespread 100-degree plus readings here across some of the valley areas. We're going to take a look at that here in a moment, but you can kind of see how this ridge is in charge with that the closed low on the south side of it there as we go on into this weekend. Another system moves through the Pacific Northwest. That closed low is still hanging around here, and then the models are hitting more and more at this trough setting up across the Intermountain West as we go on into the early portion of June. So this would be kind of interesting. Look at this massive ridge out here off the west coast of North America with a trough on the back side of that. So it continues to hint at this. So that would be interesting. So we're going to be watching that over the next few days. Plenty of time to look at that. That's still well over a week out in the forecast. And if we look at the artificial intelligence, it kind of shows some of these afternoon showers going off across the higher terrain. And we got this tropical system off the coast of Baja California down there. It's not a threat to Southern California right now, but you can also see with this closed low around as well, we start to kick off some of this precipitation across the Peninsula Range, maybe up into the desert areas as we go through this upcoming weekend, I should say, because it is Monday today, Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, everybody, by the way. And then you can see as we go on into June 1st, look at that. It's an interesting signal there starting to show up. And then that kind of kicks off a little bit there. It keeps some instability around and some precipitation going as we go through the extended. And then the troughing is going to redevelop here as we go on in through the early portion of June. Who knows what that is going to do. But we'll be watching that stuff. And even another fantasy tropical system out there as well. Now, looking at daily 2-meter max temperature, so Monday, May 26th, that is today. You can see widespread 80s out there, mid-80s generally, maybe a couple areas in the desert getting up over 100, some 70s for the Southland. We go through tomorrow and look at things start to ramp up. There's some 90s showing up there. We go through Wednesday, Thursday, but remember what happens as we go through Friday, that ridge really starts to amplify. And look at some of these temperatures, my goodness. I mean, you're talking about 20 degrees out there in Death Valley. But look at some of these northern Sacramento Valley temperatures. You're looking at 108, 107 Sacramento, probably close to 100, 105 degrees there. Even some of the coastal range really warming up here, except for maybe the immediate coastline, of course, as always. But once you get in the interior areas, very warm on Friday. Saturday, yet again, what is that? 109 for Redding, 105 for Bakersfield. Just some very impressive heat coming up here. And then we drop it back down a little bit as we go through Sunday. There's Monday, June 2nd. There's a 3rd, 4th, 5th, so much more seasonable after. But if we take a look here at the 2-meter temperature anomaly as we go through Friday, look at these temperatures. Some areas 25 degrees or more above normal for this time of year, except for just the very immediate coastline. The state of California is going to dramatically warm up as we go through the end of the month of May. So, yeah, really ramping up these temperatures here, as you can see. And now, closer look at things. This is last night's European model run. Again, some of the afternoon showers as we go through the next few days. We scroll off in towards the extended forecast, and what I'm looking for here is this precipitation with our low pressure system off the coastline. And you can see this would be spreading some precipitation back up over the area for areas that don't normally get it this time of year. And that could be some thunderstorm activity here as well. So we won't get caught up too much in those details, but this is only 150 hours out in the forecast, and this is starting to become more and more of a potential reality here. So we'll be watching that closely over the next few days. Make sure to tune in for that action. That could bring some precipitation even for Southern California, as you can see. Now, 6 to 10 day above normal, and above normal precipitation also across the southwest USA with some of this troughing starting to set up here. So interesting signal there, no doubt. There's a 14-day and kind of this mixed bag across the state of California with the above normal across some of the Intermountain West, June 2 through 8. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.